Welcome to this Moving Panels One Shot. Let's have a nerdy little conversation. And today, it's been a while, but we are going to move forward with Ruby's first watch of the MCU. And we actually took a break from the MCU, and you'll understand why in a minute. Because before she got to Spider-Man No Way Home, I said she's got to watch the first 5 Spider-Man movies.
Yep.
The 3 Tobey Maguire and the 2 Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. And so Ruby has taken a break from the MCU, and she has now watched the 5 quote-unquote original Spider-Man movies. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you haven't already heard her voice, please welcome my daughter, Ruby.
Hello.
All right. So how do you want to do this? You want to go movie by movie? You just want to talk in general?
Movie by movie.
Movie by movie. Okay. So we'll start off with Spider-Man. With Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane. Then you had Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin. What were your thoughts?
Okay, creepy Green Goblin.
Okay.
And the animation when you see that he can grab onto the wall, that was also kind of thinking about it just...
Like when you see the little things come out of his finger. Yeah.
That's...
Well, what did you think about Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, as Peter Parker?
It was pretty good, honestly.
You were good with him?
Yeah.
Did you like all the stuff at the beginning with Uncle Ben and what led up to Uncle Ben getting shot and dying?
What?
Well, I mean, did you feel that it was done well? Is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking, like, I thought you were asking, like, was that your favorite part?
Nope, just asking if that was something that you, like, if you really got into that part of the story before all of the superhero stuff really got started.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It shows that, like, his rage to actually hurt someone.
Yeah.
It shows how he would actually want to hurt someone if they did something really bad.
And what did you think of Aunt May?
I mean, as the movie, I feel like in the Amazing Spider-Man, she was young. I feel like
she gets younger each time.
She gets younger each time. I don't know what it is, but she does.
Yeah, but did you like this Aunt May?
Yes.
Okay.
I liked all the Aunt Mays.
All right. What did you think about Mary Jane?
I don't know, honestly, like, I feel like the only thing is that, she already had a boyfriend, or technically, well, she already had someone who obviously liked her, yet she fell in love with a superhero like all movies do.
So what did you think of the upside down kiss? When she kisses Spider-Man.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Well, I mean, it's just a very iconic scene. So I think we've covered all the different... Well, Harry. What about Harry Osborn?
Wait, which one?
Peter's best friend. That's the Green Goblin's son.
That one. Mm-hmm. They're both Osborn to me.
Yeah, well, that's because they are. They're father and son.
Yeah, but they're both called Osborn.
Oh, okay.
Just both. So, well, and like all the... You know what I mean. So, I don't know. I just felt like he got... I don't know if they're actually friends. By watching the movie, I didn't really tell their friendship. I really couldn't see it, honestly.
Okay. Okay, let's move on to Spider-Man 2. This is the one where we had Dr. Octopus. What were your thoughts on Dr. Octopus?
That was really cool. I liked that movie a lot. That was really cool.
What did you like about it?
I just liked how, like, he turns good at the end and, like, sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
I like how I got to actually get introduced to Doc Ock, because the things I've been introduced to Doc Ock were, like, girls and the toy that Papa and Gigi have.
Yeah, your grandparents have.
It was really cool, honestly.
Okay. And then we got Spider-Man 3. This is the one where we have a whole bunch of things going on. So we've got Sandman, and then we've got Venom, but then we also have Harry becoming like the new Green Goblin.
But turns good at the end.
Oh, he helps out at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts on that movie?
Honestly, it was very confusing.
A lot of stuff going on.
Like first he's well just the whole thing of him, he goes on Peter Parker goes on a date with what's her name?
With Gwen Stacy?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm dressing up as her for Halloween.
Well, you're dressing up as the Spider-Gwen version.
But then they go to the place where MJ works.
Yeah.
And that's just mean.
Well, that's when he's being kind of controlled by the Venom symbiote.
Yeah, but he still has some control over himself.
What did you think of the dance scene?
Oh my gosh, I remember it got compared before I even watched these movies. I saw y'all show me something that it got compared to the Wednesday dance.
Yeah. And
I was like, what the heck is that? And then I watched the Spider-Man 3 movie and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the video where it got compared to the Wednesday dance. I just think it's as weird as the Wednesday dance, honestly.
Well, but the Wednesday dance at least kind of works. The Spider-Man dancing stuff is just weird. All right, so are there any scenes? I know you probably run all three of the movies together, but are there any scenes that stand out?
I don't really know, but there's just this part in my head where he says that his boss, Peter Parker's boss, says
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, the reporter guy.
The editor of the Daily Bugle.
Whatever it's called. Is saying we need more stuff about Peter Parker. He's saying that not Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and he's saying that to Spider-Man.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about a scene in Spider-Man 2. What were your thoughts about the runaway train scene?
I loved that scene.
Yeah.
I felt like it showed Spider-Man's true strengths and how people actually like Spider-Man. Yeah. It's really sweet. It's so cool how he was about to fall. They could have just let him. They could have just let him because they've read the newspaper and think that he's a jerk.
Yeah, but he just saved all their lives.
Yeah, so they could have let him go, but of course they didn't because he just saved every single person on that bus's life.
Train,
yeah.
And all those people saw what he looked like.
Yeah.
But they
were like, we won't tell anyone. Yeah, every single person in the world's on that bus.
Well, I find it funny because they're saying that they won't tell anyone, and I'm like, well, what are you gonna tell? You don't know who he is.
Yeah, you don't know his name. You don't know who he is. You can't take a little picture of him and be like, who are you gonna tell?
And this was the early 2000s, so not everybody had cell phones with cameras on them.
Yeah, so you can't even take a picture of him. What are you going to tell?
All right, so you've kind of already said this, but to officially ask, between all the villains, so Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Sandman, Venom, and the other Goblin, Harry Osborn Goblin, of all of them, who was your favorite villain?
I feel like it's got to be between Sandman and Doc Ock.
Okay. Now, you haven't talked a lot about Sandman, so what is it about Sandman?
Sandman, it's like one of those like they're a villain. They're a really bad villain, but you feel really bad for them. Like Loki.
Okay.
I don't know what it is about Loki, but I feel bad for him.
So a little bit of sympathy for Sandman just because of the circumstances that caused him to do the things
like,
he does.
He's not a bad person. He just makes bad decisions.
Yeah. All right. And then just to ask, who was your least favorite villain?
That's oh wait, that's from this Amazing Spider-Man.
No, we're just talking about the Tobey Maguire ones. So probably Venom or
yeah,
Harry's version of the Goblin.
Venom was barely even like a villain.
Yeah, I know you don't know an awful lot about Venom, but that was a complete waste of that character, the way they did it in that movie.
He's like this little blob that controls people.
Well, yeah, it's an alien entity, and you're gonna have to get a little bit older before you can actually watch the Venom movie.
I've seen the trailers.
Yeah, yeah, but that one's probably a little. You got to get a little older, and then we'll watch that. All right, so let's move on to the Amazing Spider-Man movies with Andrew Garfield. So we got the first Amazing Spider-Man. So let's talk about characters. What'd you think of Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker?
That was pretty good, honestly. I did like that. That was cool.
You liked how because I think one thing Andrew Garfield did a lot better than Tobey Maguire is his kind of like quips, little one-liner sayings he would say to the villains.
Oh yeah, he did do that better. Like Tobey, sorry, but like you didn't put a lot of effort into those lines.
Yeah.
And Andrew really did.
All right.
A book about Andrew Garfield.
And then what were your thoughts on Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy?
It was really good. It's hard to explain, honestly.
Okay, but did you like it better that they did Gwen Stacy and didn't go straight to Mary Jane?
Kinda,
okay.
Honestly. I'm a little upset they didn't show Mary Jane since the second movie didn't do that well.
Yeah, I think they did plan on having Mary Jane in the third one. But
yep.
Okay, and then you've already talked about Aunt May. And then what were your thoughts about this version of Uncle Ben and the way he dies?
Wait,
remember, this one's a little different because remember in this one, he's trying to stop the guy who just robbed the convenience store.
Oh, yeah, that one. I forgot how he died.
Yeah, so in the first one, Uncle Ben is just sitting in the car waiting on Peter, and then the gunman comes up to him and, says, give me the car, all that, and then he ends up accidentally shooting him as he's getting out of the car. In the Andrew Garfield ones, Uncle Ben is out looking for Peter, and then he witnesses the robbery happening, and the robber's running down the street, and he actually tries to stop the robber, and the robber ends up shooting him.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Okay. All right, and then what about Gwen's dad, Captain Stacy? Remember, he was the cop that was after Spider-Man.
Oh, no.
You remember that?
Kinda.
And then when he comes over to the house, he realizes that's Gwen's father, or we realize that's Gwen's father. And you remember all that?
Not really. It's
okay.
just been a while.
So in other words, the Amazing Spider-Man movies don't sit in your head as well as the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, it just the first one.
Okay. All right, well then let's just go ahead and knock out the Lizard. So what were your thoughts on the Lizard as the villain?
It's the worst villain ever.
Why was he the worst?
Well, so I just want to say that, like, I feel like besides being a lizard, you have the worst attack moves. Besides being able to heal yourself, all you can do is punch. And
he uses his claws and slashes.
yeah, but that's like the only things he can do besides like making stuff to turn other people into lizards.
Yep.
That's the only things he can do.
Well, I mean, that's pretty important stuff. Like stuff to actually be worried about. What were your thoughts about the end of Captain Stacy sacrificing himself to help Spider-Man defeat the lizard?
God, I don't remember that part.
All right. Well, nope, that's fine. We'll go ahead and move on to The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So this is the one with Electro, and then with
every single villain in the Spider-Man universe.
This is just with Electro and with their version of the Green Goblin, but it's Harry Osborn, because Norman Osborn actually dies. So this one, it's Harry Osborn, and he's the Green Goblin. So what were your thoughts on those villains?
First of all, y'all are gonna remember Electro from the episode me and Mama did, where he was Mr. Stacks.
Oh yeah, because Jamie Foxx, yeah. Okay.
And well, wasn't there the Rhino?
Well, yeah, but the Rhino just shows up at the very end, and he doesn't really do anything. Like they charge at each other, and then that was it. But you can talk about it. What were your thoughts on the Rhino? Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. So do you have any thoughts about their version of Green Goblin?
I don't know. Honestly, it was a bit, after watching the Tobey Maguire movies, it was hard to get used to a different actor. It's just hard for me to do that.
But what were your thoughts about in this version? The Green Goblin was more of it was because of a disease that both Norman and then Harry have. So it kind of deforms them. Like he got the teeth. Like he actually, when you see Norman Osborn die, he's even got like elongated fingernails and he's got kind of a green complexion.
Oh, yeah.
So this one, it wasn't so much that it was a suit. It was that he was actually kind of, he was deformed and transforming into something that looked like a goblin.
And again, I don't see the friendship between them.
Yeah, I will say the ones from Tobey Maguire movies between Peter and Harry is a better telling than the one in the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Like in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, you don't even know they're friends. You don't even know they know each other. Yeah, it's just like all of a sudden out of the blue, they're talking to each other like they've had a history. Okay. So of those villains, so Lizard, Electro, Green Goblin, and we'll even throw in the Rhino, who was your favorite? Electro.
Okay. Anything more you want to talk about with Electro?
I mean, like, how he just started off as someone nobody likes except for, well, Spider-Man. He just fell into an electric eels tank and all of a sudden turns into Electro.
Yeah. There was a little bit more to it than that, but that's pretty much what it
well, and the power stuff.
All right, so which one was your least favorite? I think it's between Rhino and Green Goblin.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be between those two because like out of the blue you find out there's a Harry Osborn in this Spider-Man universe.
All right, well let's go ahead and attack the big moment. So what were your thoughts on the death of Gwen Stacy? Because that's a big moment in the comics for Spider-Man.
It really is. But in the comics, she dies different. But.
Yeah, well, yeah. She still dies by falling, but yeah.
Yeah, but in that time, it actually kind of is Spider-Man's fault.
Well, but I mean, if Spider-Man didn't catch her, she still would have hit the ground. But yeah, he doesn't catch her in time, and so her head still whiplashes back.
No, I mean in the comic that it's kind of his fault that she snaps her neck.
Yeah, the movie kind of, so the comic, again, I don't know how much you could say it's Spider-Man's fault.
I'm not saying it's his fault.
Yeah, there's some that say that it is when he caught her, it was the sudden stop and it jerked her so hard it snapped her neck. Then there's other beliefs that just the fall itself is what killed her. And I think with the movie, they kind of put both of them together because it's the sudden stop which causes her head to snap back, and it's so close to the ground that she hits. Yeah, her head actually hits the pavement. So,
but it was also the fall itself.
Yeah. So let's.
It's just how the web actually kind of looks like a hand.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts.
That she dies.
No, that the web looks like a hand, like it's reaching out for her. Oh, not that she dies. All right. So let's wrap this up. I think you may have already said, but so which Spider-Man do you like better, Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield?
I'm gonna say Andrew Garfield.
Okay. Anything you want to elaborate on that any or?
No, I don't know. It's just I feel like I liked his movies more, honestly.
Which is funny because you talked about how much you couldn't remember of the first one.
I know. This is the thing.
Okay. All right. So out of all 5 of these movies, which one did you like the best?
That's gonna be. Actually, no, it's not gonna be between anything. I'm gonna say The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because why?
It's just because like how many iconic parts are in it, like the how many villains are in it. Just it's a really good movie, honestly. I don't know. It's just
all right. So from the mouth of a 10-year-old, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the best out of the quote unquote original Spider-Man movies. All right. So I'm just curious. Which one is your least favorite?
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3. Okay. All right. Well, that one you're more on board with what most people would probably say. All right.
Yeah.
So did you like these Spider-Man movies?
I did. Yeah. I do like Spider-Man movies.
Now, you have already seen Tom Holland as Spider-Man. So
yeah.
Do you like Tom Holland better than Andrew Garfield?
They're kind of in the same ranking for me, honestly.
All right. You talked about Aunt May getting younger. Does it also seem like each of the Spider-Man, each Peter is getting younger?
Yes, actually.
They're a little bit closer in age as they're playing, but yeah, they do kind of look like they're getting younger each time.
I feel like the Tom Holland, he basically it feels like it's the same year. I know it's not because it's been like 5 years, but I feel like he's kind of staying. He looks the same each one, and then the other ones you can tell he's aging because he comes from like school all the way to he already has a job.
Well, that's one of my issues with the first Spider-Man movie is that he graduates from college and like the first half, or graduates from high school, excuse me, in just the first half of the first Spider-Man movie. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap that up. So you got Phase 4 coming up, which is going to kick off with Black Widow, which I will say you have seen Black Widow before. And then there's Shang-Chi, which I will say you started watching Shang-Chi when I watched it, but you never finished it.
Yeah, I fell asleep.
Yeah, and then you got the Eternals, which I'm very interested to see what your thoughts on that. Then we'll see how going over these Spider-Man movies, why I had you do that. We will watch Spider-Man No Way Home, which I know you've already seen trailers, so you kind of know why I asked you to watch the original. And then I know you're excited about Multiverse of Madness.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I am so excited for this.
Yeah, which funny enough, I don't know if I told you this. So Multiverse of Madness is directed by the guy who did the first 3 Spider-Man movies.
Cool.
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Cool. It's the same director. And then we've got Thor Love and Thunder, And then we'll wrap that up with one that I still haven't seen yet, and that's Wakanda Forever.
Didn't we like start it, but then we were...
It was like, it was like too early, and the movie's kind of starts off really dark. And so I was like, yeah, this isn't the time to watch this. All right, that's it. We took our break. We watched the Spider-Man movies. I know some of you out there will go, well, you're going to do the X-Men movies too. I don't think we're going to do the X-Men movies. I think the Spider-Man movies were a little bit more important to returning back to the MCU. Yes, I know there is a connection to the X-Men movies, but I'm just going to tell her what it is. But anyway, we'll wrap things up today. Thanks to everybody for listening. You want to tell everybody bye, Ruby?
Bye.
For today, for Moving Panels, I'm Laramy Wells, and I'll see you on the other side of the page.